Hello, team, and welcome to the first marathon talk of 2026. I'm here with my co-host, very old. I wasn't going to say young, but very old Hayden.
I'm feeling very old, to be fair, so I'll give you that today.
I've just realised we've got the pod layout, so we can have the questions here, but there's no live audience. So, don't know whether I like that. It's a bit strong, isn't it? That's a bit better. We'll leave it like that. So, yes, welcome to our pre-recorded marathon talk, our uniquely named marathon talk specials that we do. If you've never heard one of these, basically Hayden and I, we spend, what do you reckon, bruv, most of the day chatting about marathons on WhatsApp or whatever it is.
It always comes back to a marathon, doesn't it, for some reason?
We always end up talking about marathons. So we decided to start doing it as a podcast as well as part of the sort of bigger long run show and the live stream I do on a Monday. So we started talking about it and you guys seem to like them. It kind of gives, I was thinking about this. We kind of, I think we look at the marathons from an everyday runner's perspective. So I know you and I are obsessed with the majors and things like that. And you might argue, well, it's not very everyday runner and all this sort of stuff. But I think the new generation of runner that's coming through are genuine. And it's funny, we're going to talk about it in a minute. Are genuinely obsessed a little bit more about the marathons and stuff like that because they've been rightly or wrongly made to look like anyone can do them. But I think still the everyday runner does strive to do them. Is that a fair comment, would you say?
Absolutely, and I think it's helped the fact that, to be fair, not just the majors, a lot of the big world marathons, they're more accessible to people now. Yeah, we could take Boston and we can argue about that sort of stuff, but in general, a lot more of the bigger marathons are more accessible to people. New York having basically no cut-off time at all, so things like that, it's brilliant. It gives everyone the opportunity to experience our world.
And that's why we sort of dialed into it. So we're not looking at this from an elite perspective. We're not looking at this from, anything special. Yeah, Hayden has done 6. He's got the 6-star medal, right? And I've done 4 of the majors, but I've done plenty of others. Okay. So, we're talking from a place of experience, but I wouldn't say we're talking a place from like a sub-elite level sort of thing. That's not what we're here for. We don't focus in on the elite runners, so to speak. Yeah, we might talk about them with admiration, but we're not going to get into that side of things, the elite fields and things. That's not how our uniquely named Marathon Talk podcast works. By the way, if you have another name for Marathon Talk that you think would be a worthy replacement for the uniquely named Marathon Talk, email in at hello@fordyruns.com and we may consider them at some point. We're very open to change and things like that. But so there's a couple of things, Hayden, actually, across my, I was going to say pad, but that's how I used to work in the city. We always used to work from a pad. That's how old school I am.
It's posh, not old school. It sounds posh.
No, but we used to have, so like before the days of like everything being on the thing, we used to literally have a diary, A4 diary. So you'd write down like, right, this is what we've got on today. These are the calls we've got to make, blah, blah, blah. We always used to, or the stuff from the day before, the trades and things that we used to do, we always used to refer to it as the pad, what we got on the pad, or we used to refer to as the pad, the order pad. So the stuff because if anybody knew, years ago, I was an equity trader in the city. So we used to work off the pad. So we'd have, I don't know, buy 100 million Vodafone, 200 million this, 200 million that. And we'd called it, again, the order pad. Because back in the day, before, again, show my age, before we went all systems, back in, 98, that sort of thing, it was all manual. It was all telexes and stuff like that. So that's why I used the phrase.
So you was basically a yuppie with a Filofax.
I wouldn't say yuppie. I was a young Turk, because my boss used to call me. I was a young Turk. I was an 18-year-old whippersnapper who thought he knew everything about life, really. But yeah, so that was a long time ago. Maybe that's another episode we could do. 40, before he got broke. Or was broke. Right, so yes, what I was going to say to come across my pad, there was an article that I saw, right? And it was interesting. It says, in amateur running, a new goal is trending, completing all the Abbott World Marathon Majors, Tokyo, London, Berlin, blah, 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 blah. Obviously with Cape Town or whatever. It sounds like a runner's dream, but increasingly feels like a luxury tour for the wealthy. Now, let's put you out of the equation, Hayden, with all your money. Completing all the majors doesn't necessarily prove you're a great runner, just that you can afford flights, hotels, entry fees, and charity or influencer bibs. Many finish a shaft their medals. They complete marathons, in whatever. And those times wouldn't qualify for Boston. Though entries can be bought through charity or travel packages for Boston. Running all 6 majors isn't cheap. We'll come on to that. So is it an achievement, or is it now luxury tourism? Now, I thought that was an interesting article. I mean, I've totally summarized it, right? So let's just put that out there. Totally summarized that. But it is a really interesting point, isn't it? It's like, if you have what's it load of money, disposable income, right? You could, unless you're an influencer, put that to one side, the free bibs and completing all the majors because you're giving it to them, right? But have the Abbott's World Majors now basically become a luxury cruise?
It's funny because you talked at the start, you opened the show saying that we both geek out, we both talk about marathons, talking about the same thing. We haven't planned this at all, but I actually read this article about 2 days ago. Yeah,
there you go, right?
I didn't know he was going to bring this up because the headline got me. It was the hook.
Yeah. Me. Brilliant article.
It is quite a good article.
It was there to spark conversation, to drive engagement. That's the only reason I think they wrote it, right? And fair play to them, because there was a lot of hate in the comments. There's a lot of love in the comments. But it is a thing that's divided, and it's funny, genuinely, right? Head and heart, he's got no idea where I plan with these shows, so it is interesting. But go on, carry on. What were you going to say?
I said I don't know. In a way, I read it, and I agree with you. I thought it was a brilliant article, but part of me thought it's absolute nonsense as well, because well, it is, because first of all, it's not a luxury holiday, because at the end of the day, you've got to go out there and you've got to run a marathon. And listen, we've all talked about the time marathons are not easy.
No.
And even if they made it cheaper, I don't know, even if they took that side away, the tourism side away, and said, okay, we're not going to sell bibs anymore, we're not going to do any charity places, no luxury sports companies are going to do anything anymore, you're still going to have people that are going to have to time qualify. And even if they do, they still got to fly out there, they still got to pay for the hotel. It's not, I don't know, I just feel the article was having a go at just people that, as you said, people buying their way into these marathons. And to be honest, the only way you can really buy your way into marathon is for a sports tours company, really. Not a sports tours company, a sports company that does these tours.
Yeah, what does Paul call it? International tour operators or something. They've got official, something something. It's got official name, haven't they?
But that's all sort of like, that's any way you can buy your way in. Yes, you can buy a charity bib, but at the end of the day, if people want to moan about people giving shed loads of money to charity, all for you.
Yeah, again, this is someone who's run every single one of their London marathons, however many I've done now, I can't remember. There's like behind me is a load of medals. But every single one of them's under charity. I don't think you can ever say to anybody, hang on a minute, why are you doing London again when it's a charity place? I think that's, you can't. And even people who like Boston, I mean, you know better than anybody else because you looked into it for someone. Yeah. To do a Boston as a UK person, as a charity, what is it, 18 grand?
It's more than that. It's more. I know someone actually offered, I think, 12,000 UK pounds, about $16,000, and they were actually rejected. They had a higher bid, so that was Boston.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The fact that you're prepared to give that sort of money, it means that much to you that you are willing to give that sort of money to a charity that's obviously going to massively benefit from that. I personally, everyone's different. I ain't got a problem with that. If you want to spend 16 grand and it goes to a charity, and just so you can run Boston, and that charity's going to benefit massively from that donation, crack on.
Yeah. You know, I just feel as though, whenever this conversation comes up, and it does come up a lot, you're spot on with that. It just always feels as though they're getting at the people that can't time qualify. But what people don't understand is, just because you time qualify for a marathon, I time qualified. Let's go. I time qualified for Boston, which was always my dream. But I still had to shed out loads of money for the flights, loads of money for the hotel. They were super expensive. Still got to pay for your place in Boston. This is if you're time qualifying. So if you see what I mean? It's just, it's nonsense that I just feel as though having to go at people that can't time qualify, and they think it doesn't matter, I could just buy my place there. But even if you time qualify, you've still got to buy your place. You've got to get into the race, flights, hotel, everything else. So I don't really know what they're getting at. The only thing I can think of they're getting at is, again, going back to Boston and people spending shed loads of money on a charity place just so they can get the 6-star. And if they ultimately coming down to that.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think, they're actually trying to pick on anyone. What I think they're doing with the article is sparking engagement. Yeah, the article's been written by AI. probably to spark engagement. They've gone, right, marathons, pick me a contentious subject, blah, 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 and it's whacked it out. I think there's probably more that than anything else. But what they're saying is the 6-star medal basically a sign of wealth? That's what they say.
Yeah. I don't think that's. Yeah, I do get you saying that, but I don't think it's a sign of wealth because only rich people can afford to do it. It's become a sign of wealth if you haven't got the ability in other ways to qualify. Like my wife, she's a 6-star finisher, and she'd done the 5. She didn't time qualify for any of them. She got in the ballot on 3 or 4 of them. There was a sports company on one of them.
That's the other thing as well. The ballots you got don't. That article doesn't say anything about the ballots. It's a good point. Carry on.
I know. And exactly. If this whole 6 world majors went on just ballot places, well, we all know it would take forever to get it. You're going to lose heart, and it would just become a nothing medal because people just can't be bothered. It depends how long you've got to wait. I see a lot of Americans with the UK. A lot of us always stress about Boston because you have to time qualify and that's ballot. For Americans, it's always about London. London is more Americans finish in London because they find it so difficult because we don't accept time qualifying places in London to non-UK
and you've got to do it through Paul, our mate, as sports basically, isn't it?
There's less companies that do it. It's expensive. Yeah, absolutely.
He loves you, Americans. You're his best friend. He gets his places and he dishes them out to you. He goes, yeah, best customers in the world.
And this is the thing. So an American can't try and qualify for London. So if an American started this journey in, say, 2010, and they're a really, really good runner, qualified, smashed out Boston, lucky in a ballot at Tokyo, and all the others they time qualified for. London, you can't time qualify. So they're sitting there in 2013 thinking, right, I've got to get in the ballot next year. No. Next year, no. Next year, no. I can't get a time qualifying place. The charity places are so minimum.
Yeah.
What? 10 years later, you ever got that 6-star? You're going to think to yourself, it's a waste of time. You can't always buy your way into all of these things either. So it's a difficult conversation to have. But as you said, it was done to spark the conversation. And I'm not standing like I'm standing on one side of the fence defending the money thing. I'm not because, and again, you talked about people buying their way and stuff. I time qualified for Chicago. I time qualified for Boston. I run for charity at London. Tokyo, I got in the ballot. What else? Berlin, I time qualified for. So the only sports package fund I paid for actually was New York. The rest of them I didn't pay for any of them like that, but they still cost me a shed load of money. That's time qualifying them. So if they're taking the article from the fact that even if you're an amazing runner and you're a sub 230 runner, but it's still a luxury to have it because you've got to spend loads of money, then they're absolutely bang on.
Yeah, because of the flights and the hotels. Yeah, we don't know where they're based, right? Because at the moment, as we know, a lot of the majors are still in the US, rightly or wrongly. I know they're changing that, but it's just a little bit easier to get to those. It's still expensive to a degree, but they haven't got the cost of international travellers, let's say. But yeah, it is. It does. As I said, it doesn't mention the ballots. You think about Ben, right? Ben is probably the luckiest person. Like he's got in London ballot, Tokyo ballot, Sydney ballot. I think he got in Berlin ballot. I might be wrong, but I think he got in Berlin ballot.
He got New York ballot, not that main ballot, but the Abbott ballot.
That's it. He got New York ballot as well. He's basically done, and then he time qualified for Chicago. Or did he do it out? Or did he sports tours it for Chicago?
Well, he's done it 3 times, and he's probably
he's time qualified twice, I think.
Yeah.
I think he might have got ballot for Chicago as well.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Honestly, the guys, and you get people like that. I know somebody else who's got majors, like Malcolm got majors, I think, through ballots. Down in Southend. I swear Malcolm got some.
He got the club one for London, didn't he?
He got Club London, but I think he also got some of the others. So there are people who get, but again, you get ballot, right? You've still got the cost of the hotel, the flights, the 4 days that you're out there. So,
and also, do you know what people are missing a little bit as well? All them things you named, yes, you've also got the cost of the race. Just because you got the ballot, it doesn't mean you don't have to pay for the race. Yeah, London's cheaper, but the other ones, they're not cheap. New York's like nearly 500 quid, I think it is, 400 quid.
Absolute wrong price. Well, this is, here you go. It's not marathon talk, but it's along the same argument. Does that mean that the super halves will be the thing of luxury because cost involved there, and they're going to ballot Cardiff, to complete the super halves? Are they going to go down? I'm not saying they are at the moment, But is that something that, again, that's going to be put into that bracket at some point, because you've got to have a cash pile to go and do the super halves? Listen, these people are taking advantage of runners, right? But the bottom line is we're paying it. So
supply and demand.
We can't argue, right? When they put the price up for Tokyo and go, no, that cost you $9,000. That's our own fault, because people are paying it, or the demand is so high for the let's say the pre-registered places. Well, look at New York, right? So if you didn't know, we're doing a trip out to New York in 2026. Yeah, we've teamed up with Sports Tours again, like we did with Chicago, and a load of us are going out to New York. The New York pre-registrations went in a heartbeat. And the guys have only got so many places. We've had Paul on the normal podcast. Go and listen to it. It's a great episode of how the marathons in talking work in terms of an international, whatever he said, tour operator, right? It's really interesting how he talks about the Boston places and that lot. But New York sold, it's basically, they've sold it out. Good luck with that. And they sell out pretty much everything within whatever it is of going on pre-registration. This is not going on sale.
People don't even know the price yet.
People don't even know the price, and they're putting in their pre-registrations. So when everybody, and rightly, and again, I get it 1,000,000,000%, okay? But when people rightly moan about the cost of these marathons and they say it's a luxury 6-star medal, really, we've only got ourselves to blame.
It is. And again, going down the point, if we go outside of the majors, look at the last 2 marathon marathon sign-ups I've seen. Valencia, ready for 2026. Just ridiculous. Amsterdam. So I got home from Park Run. I actually mucked it up, and you told me, you said, get on there early because it's going to go quick.
11 o'clock.
It said 12 o'clock, but obviously 12 o'clock, European time. It's 11 o'clock UK.
I'm half European.
That's probably what it is. So I got home from Park Run 5 to 12, and I thought I'd get in the queue. And I got on there. I saw they were going down the place. And I realised my mistakes. I quickly logged on. I was number 23,000 in the queue at 12 o'clock. But I still got on and I got a place, but literally about 45 minutes later, someone messaged me and said, no, that they're all gone. So you're talking 2 hours. No disrespect to it. I haven't done it, so I don't know. But I know it's a popular. That's for Amsterdam Marathon.
It's a great one, but I don't disagree with you at all. I think you're bang on in regards to what you're saying. Is that it's a fantastic race, and it just shows you the demand that's out there. It's a non-major, and it's stripping out. Like, look at Dublin, that's now ballot. I don't know if it was before, but you know, and they'll sell that out. Look at Manchester Marathon. Again, I'm not being disrespectful. It's a great race. I've been up there, but they're selling that out like on the date. We are our own fault, like causing our own problems here, people, because of the demand of it, and because of basically how everyone's taken to running, which is fantastic. And that's why I go back to the point what you said, Hayden, at the start. Everyday runners, we are. And everyday runners are looking to do these marathons. It shows you from the demand that's out there at the moment. It's crazy. And I can't see it at the moment, especially on the marathon side of things, easing up, because you'll get that Gen Z, whatever you call them, continue, to crack on with high rocks and maybe into ultras, whatever, because they're looking for that next big challenge, right? Where I think our age group, not your age group, the over 70s, but our age group, that we can still, hold our own in the marathon distance, still get the training done. It's, it's a good pastime, keeps you busy and all that sort of stuff. So I think there's an element to it. But yeah, it was a super, it just sparked my attention quite easy. I've got a quick quiz for you. Another thing I saw. This is the beauty of having all these platforms at your disposal. Okay, so Japan's coming up. Obviously, we've got. I don't know if we'll do a marathon talk between now and Tokyo. I'm not sure. Right, we'll figure that out. But I want to sort of put into perspective some times. So, fastest men's marathon times by country in 2025. I want you to try and name the top 5 fastest men's marathon times by country. So I don't know. Netherlands won.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not Netherlands. I won't tell you that. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if you can guess them. So the 5th place first.
Of 5th place, I'm going to go with. Let's go Spain.
Okay. 4th.
So,
you're never going to get this in a month. Like never. And play along if you're listening to this at home. You're never going. No one's going to get this.
I'm just trying to work them out. I think I know what roughly there and there, but I think the 5 should be. I'm trying to work out in what order. So 4th. I'm going to go United States 4th.
3rd.
Japan.
2nd.
I'm going to go Ethiopia.
And 1st.
Kenya.
I tell you what, that's bloody good, bruv. You've got 1, 2, and 3. Bang on.
Did I get 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, you did. You smashed it. Kenya time 2:03:31, fastest times by country. Ethiopia 2:04:29. Japan, which we'll talk about in just a second, 2:05:58. 4th, no, anyone who's got this, email us in at hello@fordyraz.com. Uganda 2:06:55. I may be showing my ignorance here.
No.
5th was Germany 2:07:17. US was 8th at 2:07:45. UK, just for reference, was 12th.
Was this men's or was men's and women's?
Men's, yeah, men's.
Men's, okay, yeah.
Fastest men's times, average of each country's top 10 athletes in 2025. It's interesting, isn't it? But the reason I thought that was interesting is because Japan. Have you seen the guy on YouTube called Run to Japan or something like this? He's like an he now is a Brooks athlete. He wasn't, but he moved out to Japan, and he's like got proper involved in the Japanese running culture, and he just talks about like what machines they are and how like isolated they are. I tried to get on one team, couldn't get on it. It's a brilliant channel. The guy's blown up in 2025, and he wants to go out and break the ultra record, whatever it was that Adidas did the other, the one they tried to break or whatever it was. Adidas, I can't remember. Yeah. But he's looking to do that. He runs silly mileage. I mean, insane mileage. But what's really interesting, I find interesting, is the culture side of things of the Japanese runners. How totally different it is. Like every company's got like an Ekerd and a relay team. Like Mazda and Honda and all this. They've got their own Ekerd teams and all this sort of stuff. It's brilliant. I'd thoroughly recommend his channel if you've not watched it. It's really good. But he's an insane amount of distance he's putting through his legs. I don't know how he does it. It's crazy. Are we going to?
I think you was saying like you were not trying to catch me up, but you maybe a bit surprised that the Japanese are so big within the marathon world, but they are huge. It's their distance. They don't run many other distances. For them, marathons are like this ultimate goal. There, it means so much to them. Out in Tokyo Marathon, I think the year when I'd done it, they didn't finish in the top 3. I think the close one was like maybe position 4th, but in the top like 15, there was about 6 of them. Like they dominated the top 15, 20. They absolutely love it. And as you said, they got a different mindset, haven't they? I just think they just switch off from pain and everything.
Watch that guy's YouTube channel. I can't remember what it's called. Run to Japan or something like that. Just go on YouTube. It's really fascinating stuff. So big shout out to him. But because I think we might do a pre-Tokyo show. So I don't want to get into that.
Beginning of March, is it?
Yeah.
First weekend of March.
Obviously, we've got Ben out there from the podcast team. Yeah. But I know obviously we've got other club members out there. But we've got Ben from the podcast team out there. So it'd be interesting to get his insight. But I was going to say something to you. I can't remember what it was now. Oh, it's 2 things. I was going to say to you, what's the one marathon you're looking forward to other than New York?
I was going to say that's an easy question at first.
Other than New York, so park that. I'll come back to that question. Here's an interesting thing, which I found out that I've done. I don't know whether anyone else has done this, so I'd be interested to know. I got an email from Abbott's World Majors, and it's quite a funny story. For years, I unsubscribed to their stuff, so I was never going into any of their ballots. What a pro move that was, because I don't like being on it. I don't like getting emails, right? Anyone who knows me, I don't like getting messages, let alone emails. Anyway, I superbly unsubscribed to their stuff. So for years, I haven't been putting into any of these ballots, like Ben's won and other people that we know have won, right? Anyway, so I've finally got. I sent an email to him and had a proper moan up, wherever it was, 6-8 months ago, and said, "Hang on a minute, I've done all this stuff and all these majors and that, and I'm not getting in any ballots. Why's that?" And they went, "Oh, it's because you unsubscribed." I went, "Oh shit, I can't have a go there. Sorry about that. I really love you. Thanks so much." So anyway, I got this email about entering this. They do these challenges that like virtual challenges that if you enter, you then get, and I've done it, you get to be able to go an extra chance into their ballots. Now, Hayden's nodding like this is something like he's been doing, but this is why I love and hate these people. And it's Ben's the same. He was in enough trouble. They don't tell me about these things, and then they go, "Well, that's your own fault for deleting the emails." But
do you know why? Do you know why I wouldn't tell you about that one? Because
right.
for me, it's a bit controversial. For me, it's not worth it. It's not a con. It's a bit of a rip off. Only because I know 3 people that have really gone for it. Louisa, my wife, was one. She done it for the Boston one, and you pay to do like the virtual challenges. Yeah. She done about she done about 4, maybe 5 in the space of like the qualifying time to be in the Boston ballot, and literally got absolutely nothing. Don't get me wrong, this might be you're not always good just because you do them, but she looked back and she thought, I've just spent $250 extra for an extra place to get a chance at Boston. I didn't get it. Alan, long run show, fellow host, him and Carolyn, both of them the same in Tokyo. They've done a few extra virtual challenges and paid the money to see, just to boost your place. It's difficult because you can't say, oh, it doesn't do anything, because if they would have got the space, everyone would be saying, oh my God.
Yeah, but I only paid $50 and I was able to enter Boston, Sydney, Tokyo.
Oh, on the one challenge. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh,
I don't know whether that's correct or not. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was meant. They said run 30 miles and I ran 20.
I don't think it works like that.
but I won't get one free. But I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't really know what I'm doing in any of this sort of stuff. But I saw it and I thought, you know what? 36 quid.
It boosts your chances. Yeah, it's good.
I can live with that. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's another. But I've probably got as much chance in them as I have in London.
No, yeah, it's a difficult one. And I always used to think that the chance of you getting one of these Abbott's ballots places are minimal. But then, as you said,
we know people.
Ben went and got New York. We got a lovely lady from the club, Shireen. She actually got for this year. She actually got Boston. She's run 4 world majors. She just needs Tokyo and Boston. She went in for the ballot and she got the Boston one.
That's
so
what
I think
I'm saying to you,
there's not many of them they give out either. Incredible.
That's the thing, yeah. Because I know Ben has got that through Abbott's. When that came through, I was like, oh, I'm doing the mileage.
Yeah.
For 36 quid. I'll be honest, I was only expecting to be able to enter one of the ballots on the back of doing that, which goes kind of along with what you were saying. So I don't know how I've been able to enter the others, but whatever, we'll take it. But to do those challenges is pretty cool. Obviously, I'm not being horrible, but I'm running them. I'm running easily the miles to get whatever they throw my way, and I'll do. But maybe what you're saying is that every month there's a new one, and every month it costs 36 quid. My question to the listening audience is that worth doing?
Well, do you know what this is what's great, and you say it's unplanned. Maybe you've got your pad there. This goes back to the whole beginning of the show, and it ties up everything. It becomes, are you just paying for an extra chance to get in? Because as you just alluded to, you're running that distance anyway. They say it's a challenge. Is it a challenge for you? No. For you to go run a half marathon tomorrow morning, not being horrible, especially if you go run on a training one, it's not a challenge.
Run it at pace, yeah.
Run it at a pace, something else. But just to complete the distance for you at the moment where you are with your training plan and your training block, it's not a challenge as such. So basically, you're paying more money for a chance at another place, which ties back, like you said, at the start of the whole thing with the article we read.
Shall I tell you, this is honest me being transparent as always. When the options came up of Tokyo, Sydney, Boston, I hovered over doing Boston or not, because I want, and if I got that, I still don't know whether I'd accept it, because I'm so black and white on Boston. So it goes back to we spoke about a billion times. Would I take an influencer pip? No. I don't think, but as you say, I think you said it on another show. Yeah, but you're in the ballot. You've done. There's nothing. There's no difference between ballot that and a ballot for London. You're going to take it. It's not like you bought the place.
Oh.
So I, by the way, again, full transparent, I did enter it, but I felt uncomfortable.
I don't see why. Yeah, no, I think you're bang on with that. Yeah, why would you feel uncomfortable? You're entering a. There's no.
Because I want to qualify.
Yeah, but there's no official. Yeah, I get that, but there's no official ballot for Boston. So if you're given an option by Abbott to look after Boston, to go in the ballot, it's exactly the same as going to ballot for London, the ballot for Berlin.
Yeah, and that's why I pressed the button. That's why I pressed the button, right? But I still, funnily enough, I still felt uncomfortable doing it. It's funny, isn't it?
But then, I think your original point that you've always made about it goes back to, I think, being given what you class as an influencer bib is slightly different to winning a ballot place.
Yeah.
Because I think the structure of the way the marathons works, it's an everyday ballot thing, even down to half marathons at London landmarks. Like, these things are the Great North Run. It's a game of chance. It's a ballot. If Boston's a ballot, Boston's a ballot.
I think if I'm sitting here today and I've got a ballot place, like through one of these Abbotts or let's say a sports tour, because I did so many sports tours things, or I'm not there yet, by the way, but I'm just saying in general, let's say if I did a system through that and I got it through a ballot, I'd do it.
But Chance's real one question: what if next year Boston said, you know what, we're going to change things up because we're sick of the criticism. We're going to give out half of our marathon places are going to be ballots. You need to enter the ballot. Would you enter the ballot next year for Boston Marathon? Yeah, there you go. So what's the difference?
That's what I'm saying to you. I think sitting here, I would, because I want to run it. Although I'm really reluctant to do it because I want to qualify.
But you can qualify still. You can run it. You can qualify and go back, or you can run it. You can qualify. Like this year, my plan. We said it on one of the long run podcasts. I would like to run a Boston qualifying time. I've run a Boston qualifying time twice now, and I want to run one again. Doesn't mean I'm going to run Boston another time. It's just a fact of thinking, do you know what? I've got to the stage of my life where I'm Boston qualified, and for me, that's more important than the actual running.
Yeah, but that's because you've done it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's because you've done it. It's it's a funny old one, but that's what I love about Boston. Also, is that it throws that into the mix. It's not a straightforward. I'm going to go in the ballot. I'm going to go charity. I'm going to get good for age. I appreciate US friends won't, but you know what I mean. You go down that line. Tokyo ballot or not, right? Because I ain't paying $9 grand. I ain't got $9 grand. So it's ballot or nothing, right? Because you can't time qualify unless you're like basically sub elite for that, right?
I think it's sub 220 this year.
Yeah, not being horrible. Boston qualifies a push. Do you know what I mean? So unless we get 1 million subscribers on the YouTube channel and then I can train full time, that ain't happening, all right? So Tokyo, I'm fine with, right? It is what it is, sort of thing. But Boston has that allure still, because there's that element to it. And even it just shows you how my brain, and probably a lot of people, it still gives you that conundrum of, you could get in the ballot, but you feel a bit uncomfortable about it because you want to qualify. I think that's a great thing about the race. I think that gives it, again, it puts it, as we always say, I don't know why, but it puts that race up on a pedestal, doesn't it? Like Tokyo, whatever. Yeah, I'll get it when I get it. But Boston, no, I'm going to work my ass off and I'm going to try and keep trying. And if I don't get it, that's down to me. And that's why
that's what you love about it. And one thing leads to another because of that. And because now the way you think about that, the way you do it, and eventually when you do, and we all know you will qualify BQ one time. Once you do it and you've worked so hard for it and done that. So when you get out there, that is all it's all about. And everyone else around you is exactly the same, feeling exactly the same way as you do. And this is what makes it such
a special
prestige marathon, because people are there and they're so invested in it already before they even get there. Then when they get there, the buzz is so big. Whereas, as you said, some of the other ones, they're amazing marathons, but there's a lot of other entries, different pathways you can get into them.
Yeah, different avenues. And I think that brings different runners to it as well, as you say. But that Boston thing brings the thing. I've just seen the time. In a sentence, which marathon other than New York, it doesn't have to be a world major, are you looking forward to either doing it or seeing it being part of in 2026?
I've got to go 50-50. doing Amsterdam because I haven't done it before and I've heard a lot of hype about it. Love it. But for me, still watching, even though I'm not doing it, being involved at London this year is still always going to be special. Can't wait.
Yeah, the cheer station.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, I'm running London, but I'm more excited. More excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm really trying to go for the training block. Yeah, and this video, this would have come out after my new series would have started. Yeah, so people hopefully got behind the story and understand what I'm trying to do, which is run my fastest London time. Yeah, and really try and kick on. But I'm really psyched about how big we can make the cheer station and how much of a dent we can make in that area in terms of like feel for the runners and support for the runners, not just our club community. We don't care about that because, to be perfectly honest with you, right, on that day everyone's in the charity vest, I would say. So it's not about that. It's supporting all the runners out there, which I think our club and community does so beautifully well every year. But I want to get people behind that, get people excited about that at mile 17 or 18 or whatever it is, and get people really psyched up for that. Because I think that's going to be a moment in time again in 2026, where time will stand still. When you go through that cheer station, it's going to blow your head off.
And the fact that I've been there the last 3 years, and literally we don't actually even get there till like about 11:30. So I actually do miss. I'll be honest, if you're going to run London in sub 2:20, sub 2:30 or sub 2:40, there's a chance I probably won't see you. So we start getting there when the later on runners come, and as we get warmed up from about let's say about 3.5, 4 hour runners, we start getting warmed up. By the time we get your 5 hour marathon runners coming through at that stage, you're at about 3 hours, 3 hours 20 by then. That's when it starts to really, really get lively. And that's when you see the essence of everyday runners, the essence of a marathon, what it means to people, not only people running, what it means to people cheering. When you've got your husband, your wife, your cousin,
it's another level.
Next door neighbor, whoever's out there running that, and you see people and you watch them bonds, and it just
it's like nothing else. Honestly, it's like nothing else. So if you're doing London, make sure you
definitely
follow us on the old socials and all that sort of stuff, because we'll be make sure we promote it. But that's it, bruv. Let's let everybody go. Thanks for everybody for listening to our uniquely named Marathon Talk podcast. It's no longer a special; it's a regular feature now, and we will be back pre-Tokyo. I think it's a good shout, Hayden. We can go through that. We can talk about that. Before then, I want you to go and watch that guy.
Well, sounds good.
Because it's super interesting. Let us know if you've got any feedback about the show, as long as you're not from like a trademark place and trying to say about this. No, just drop us an email, hello@fordyruns.com. If you want Hayden to come on your podcast, please email hello@fordyruns.com. He's very happy to do that.
And very cheap.
Literally cost you 10 grand. And if you want to guess what's in that box, send in an email to hello@fordyruns.com.
Interesting.
It's interesting. That's got your attention as well.
We could actually, next marathon talk, maybe we should talk a little bit about marathon shoes, actual shoes that people can wear.
Again, if people are interested in that sort of stuff, let us know. Maybe that's what we'll talk about, marathon shoes. Yeah, because actually by the time Tokyo, we may have had a few releases. I know I heard from Brooks today about when the Hyperions come in, the elite. So yeah, we might have a few out.
Alpha Fly 4?
Well, I was talking about this on Monday's live stream. So if you didn't know, right, I do a live stream on a Monday. Basically, 90% of the chat is running shoes. And somebody asked me about it. And I'd already was aware of this. There's a list of shoes. So that we work with, obviously, retailers and brands and stuff, right? So we've got like a release date calendar sort of thing. And it moves, it changes. And Alpha Fly was scheduled in there for January. But the last time I checked it was May.
May? Wow.
But then, that's a bit weird. So straight away onto the internet. And then got absolute load of well, I don't know, right? Some people were saying, again, this is total nonsense or total truth. I don't know. We're saying that the elites who were wearing them at the end of last year and that lot, there was feedback or something, and they've had to dial it in or change something or whatever. I don't know. I suspect that's absolute BS. What I suspect it probably more is, and this is traditional Nike, limited drop, proto version, February, May, full sale with a couple of colorways. That would make sense to me. So you'll get that hype train of, I don't know, I've got no idea how many pairs, 100 on the day or whatever it is, sell out within 2 seconds. And then the next release will come with a different color, May or April, maybe, I don't know, for London, whatever. But that's probably more what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? But yeah, that's probably, as a guess, that's usually, because they've done that with Vaporfly, they've done that with a lot of their like sort of high end shoes. They do a proto drop, limited, super limited. Like, do you know what I mean? You have to be on the inside to get it, and then the rest of it comes in. I don't know, but I've got absolutely no inside information on that at all. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, but going back to your point, yeah, we can talk about shoes if people are interested. Let us know. Hello at 40 runs. I was going to say hello at email.com, but hello 40runs.com. All right, guys. Thanks very much, Hayden. I'll see you soon, bruv. Take care, everybody. I'm going to play the outro if I can find it. There it is. See you.